All right, guys, it's Paul Singh, the Market Speculator, with the trade report for Friday, March 22nd, 2019. Lots to talk about today. We got the big move yesterday. We finally cleared this range, and looks like this is all in the rearview mirror now. Before we get to that, really quick, remember, guys, tomorrow is our uh, uh, mentorship session, group mentorship session for Swing Trade Report members. So go ahead and sign up here. The link will be in the report. As usual, we'll have one lesson and our big Q&A where we'll do some mentoring. And those of you who are in the boot camp, if you haven't already, you can sign up here. And this is what we will be going over. Really quick, initially, first day, we'll go over the top-down approach, how I analyze the market cycles, some other concepts here. Day two will be all about volume, a little different than you've probably seen it before. Day three will be all about the setups and the stuff we trade. And then day four will basically be putting it all together and then talking about other things related to IPOs, tons of case studies and examples. And then we'll talk trading psychology as well. So I'm looking forward to that next week. It's going to be 4 days. Let's get back to the report here. We've been waiting for quite a while now to break this 281 range. We finally did that. Looks like all the getting the Fed out of the way and not worrying about interest rates. That's really going to set us up here for that run to all-time highs, which we've been waiting for. So I think we're at the point now where we can basically forget about the really, really short bear market we had. And now we can get ready for the run. Now this morning we're pulling back kind of hard. On a percentage pullback basis, I think it's about 0.4, 0.5% right now, about 15 minutes before the open, which feels like a lot. But if we compare it to what happened yesterday, where we were up 1.1%, it's not giving up too much. So we'll see how this plays out. Sometimes we get a little profit taking in the morning and then we get a run up, or we could pull back here. What we want to see is a hold of yesterday's candle, and ideally, even better, it would be a hold of the 9. And then even better would be, a green day today. So we'll see how that plays out. A lot could happen between now and the close. I think caution is the best way to play it early in the morning. And then we'll see what happens later in the day. Potentially we could add a position, but it depends on what happens in the market. And what I loved about yesterday, we've had a little bit of a concern with small caps, but small caps also did very well, did a little better than the market did. So we're encouraged by that. We still want to see small caps get up over the 200-day moving average, and overall they are lagging a little bit, but I like the movement yesterday. So we want that to continue, and then tech has been doing very well, especially some of and what's nice is it's not just FANG. FANG is actually lagging a little bit, but it's other areas of tech that have been really strong. Semiconductors were on fire yesterday. Kicking myself a little bit because we've been talking about entering semiconductors and we didn't, and we had this huge run. Semiconductors are already almost at their all-time highs. So we're seeing relative strength in certain areas. This is all good for the market. T2108, which we've been watching closely, very strong move yesterday, and hopefully that continues here and we see improvement in market breadth. If we see that continue, we're going to get even more excited about the market. Right now, I'm still slightly bullish instead of aggressively bullish. We've gone from market neutral. We've actually gone from very bullish to market neutral to slightly bullish right now. I'll get aggressively bullish if we start to see more improvement with market breadth. Let's look at certain areas. Actually, let's look at our current positions right now. Now, I entered Lulu. It was a fantastic setup yesterday. You guys are great. A bunch of you reminded me that earnings are Wednesday. I missed that. Luckily, it doesn't do any damage because it's not like Monday or today. So we have a little time to hold and see if we get a pop. Now, it is pulling back this morning with the market. So we'll see how that plays out. I will definitely get out before Wednesday. So a little flub on my part, missing that it has earnings coming up. And then ILMN, nice move yesterday, exactly what we want to see here. Our entry was at 314. We're up 5 points. Another 5 points here gets us close to target range. Facebook, we got a bit of a continuation, lagged the market a little bit. I think a lot of that is because of the 9 is right here. We knew that going in that we have to break through that 9. But if we can bust through that 9, we're going to see a nice move in Facebook. So let's see if that happens. ERX, our energy play, up to 24. Now oil's pulling back this morning, so energy is going to pull back a little bit, still above our entry level. But hopefully we get that next big push. Sometimes oil will open like this and then have a very strong day. We're looking forward to seeing if that happens. And I think that's it for current positions. We've got 4 current positions right now. We've taken profits in Brazil and NVIDIA recently. PanW was a loss, which was a little frustrating because it came back really nicely here. Remember I told you guys, and I know some of you did it. I'm really happy about that. I didn't, because I decided to go a different direction in terms of entry. But when we get stopped out and the setup is still there, we're not hesitant to get back in. And I like that a lot of you took that advice and went ahead and are back in this trade. So that's really good. Let's go over some sectors and areas. We talked about IWM. I like the setup in the leveraged ETF, TNA. You can see yesterday was up almost 4%. This tracks IWM, 3 times leveraged. You can enter here around 63, put a stop down here around 60, so risk 3 points. And if it just hits up here at the this top of this range here around 70, you've got about a 3-to-1 trade. So TNA is looking good. We talked about SMH. I'd like to see some consolidation, so that maybe this is not a setup for today, but if it can consolidate here for a few days and then break the high, we could definitely look at trading SOX L, which is the leveraged ETF. XHB housing is very strong, so we could look at NAIL, which is the leveraged ETF for that, or just go for some housing stocks, which we'll go over in a second. And then biotech also is looking good. What I like about biotech is it's consolidated and it's not too extended right now. So we could enter here, around 91. Actually, we would use LABU, but we could place a entry here around 62. Maybe use a 5-point stop and ignore the moving average, because what we're doing is tracking the underlying, and this thing could run to 80 very quickly and give us maybe 3-to-1, 4-to-1 on this trade. So I like some of these ETFs. And then stocks, FCX, I'm looking for stuff that's not too extended right now. Metals have been consolidating here, kind of coiling, and could be ready for the next big runs. So we'll watch FCX. We can watch X, we can watch CLF, all kind of coiling here and ready to make runs. A lot of software stocks are way extended at this point. Square is not. So we could potentially add Square here and see a big run. All-time highs are at 100, so there's a lot of room to the upside on that one. AMBA here, semiconductor related and in a bottoming formation. A lot of good positive volume has been coming in the last 2 earnings. We have a top of the range here around 55. We're at 44. We could enter here, risk about 3 points, and potential for 10 points there. So we would get a potential 3-to-1 there. Win has been bottoming as well. You could enter here and play to the top of the range. You do have to contend with the moving average here, or we could wait for the moving average and see if it makes a bigger run there. But I do like the overall bottoming pattern in Win. And then we've got housing stocks. We could potentially watch Toll Brothers consolidating here above the moving average remount. DHI, all these are basically putting in the same pattern. Lennar, and then we've got one smaller one that's a little more volatile, LGIH, as well, which could make quite a big run there. And then FANG stocks, Amazon here, remounting the moving average, looking good. Maybe we need a little bit of a pullback there. Apple looking very strong, finally remounting its 200-day moving average. Essentially, technically, that would be it's back on uptrend. So even though it looks like a little bit of a weird uptrend, but looking pretty good here. There's the round number 200, and then the all-time high at 230 something there. So Apple looking decent. Google is back up over its moving averages and a little extended right now, but we'll watch for a pullback maybe next week. And then Netflix also breaking this range. So everything's looking pretty good. A lot of candidates for potential entries. We'll see how that play. If we decide, if the market reverses today, maybe we add another position.